I'm Nancy Elhajj. I use both essays and poetry in my writing. The group of writings I am going to read today have a common theme: relationships. The first poem, Sister of My Heart, is dedicated to the women who help me to weather every storm, to laugh at myself, to see the beauty of nature, and to believe that there is a God and that He loves me. Who halves the sharpest pain, plumbs the deepest fears, dries the saltiest tears, she is a sister of my heart. Who unearths hidden faults, treasures the secrets she knows, protects me from the strongest foes, she is a sister of my heart. Who applauds tiny victories, nurtures the wildest dreams, encourages the silliest schemes, she is a sister of my heart. We are members of the same tribe, women who yearn and wonder, banded together against life's storms. Sister of the heart, not of the blood, true and forever friends. Epiphany, a look back in time to my relationship with my children. The dentist's busy waiting room recedes into the background as I stare at the wrinkled magazine in my hands. The outdated article fades while I settle into a state of semi-awareness. Patients come and go. My breathing slows as I try to rest on the hard chair. Worries surface and throb like a toothache. I have been working full-time for 3 years now, and my guilt over no longer being a stay-at-home mom is wearing me out. No matter how many times I repeat the mantra that my mind is a terrible thing to waste, I regret not being at home when Matthew and Heather come in from school. My mother was home for me, and I should be home for them. I examine my reasons for abandoning my children as I would probe a sore tooth. I didn't have the opportunity to go to college after high school, although I was in the college prep track. When my son and daughter were small, I started to take night courses. I eventually finished my associate's degree during the day at Cumberland County College and went on for a bachelor's degree at Glassboro State. Now I am an administrator at Cumberland and just finished my master's. I pray that my children don't feel neglected. A soft voice causes me to look toward the desk with half-closed eyes. A tall, slender woman chats with the receptionist while she makes her next appointment. She has thick, wavy brown hair and the natural peaches and cream complexion promised by cosmetic companies, but seldom delivered. Beige shorts and a white t-shirt, a common summer outfit, look like designer clothes on her. Her appointment made, she thanks the receptionist and turns toward me expectantly. I look blankly into her big blue eyes. "Mom, are you ready to go?" Startled, I think, "Oh, my little girl, when did you grow up?" Heather and I share a laugh about it on the way home, but I know our relationship has changed forever. I am 41 years old, and she, at 17, is a young woman. 62, a poem about aging gracefully, or not. My relationship with the woman in my mirror. Unthinkingly, she flips the mirror on the visor to apply lipstick. Sharp autumn sunlight lasers in on her face. Startled, she leans closer. 62 years reveal themselves like rings on a tree. Laugh lines, love lines, tear tracks. Her story increases, wrinkles, and folds. Skin stretched taut with emotion and gone rubbery with relief, again and again. Beauty, unlined and youthful, beckons. A nip here, a tuck there, a few shots and skin peels. A pristine face, chiseled in marble, unveiled. Her life erased, surgically. Inspiration, a poem about my relationship with creativity. A mood licks at my mind, shortly before a winter's dawn. I plump the pillows and ignore it. The mood forms a word that nibbles just a bit. I stretch my legs and ignore it. The word comes back as a phrase, gnawing at me. I roll onto my back and ignore it. The phrase evolves into a sentence, chewing and chewing. I pull the covers over my head and ignore it. Sentences clump together as a paragraph, now biting painfully. Disgusted, I throw back the covers and get up to write. Rainy day, about my relationship with Tony, my husband of 39 years. Tourist shops sell plaques that boast, "A rainy day at the beach is better than a sunny day anywhere else." In December, a rainy day at the beach is better than a day in prison, but just barely. Tony and I mope about the house, talking about the many projects we should begin, but without the energy to start them. The house seems too small to hold both of us, and after a couple of tries at barely civil conversation, we end up settling in separate rooms, he lounging on his recliner with an Afghan under his chin, watching an old movie, me on my chaise lounge reading a novel. The relentlessly gloomy afternoon is only half over when the streetlights come on. Rain and wind slap against the shuddering house. I sip my fourth cup of tea, trying to warm my insides. Thoughts of dinner sneak up on me. I long for a hot home-cooked meal. I don't care what I eat, as long as someone else prepares it. One of my favorite movies is Julie and Julia. It's all about cooking and inspired me to set up my own notebook with favorite recipes. I don't mind cooking if I have the menu prepared in advance and know I have the ingredients. I admire my friends, talented cooks all, who are able to improvise in the kitchen using whatever they find on their shelves. Do you have any ideas for dinner? I ask, hoping he will say that he is going to cook. No. My heart sinks. There is chicken in the refrigerator. My heart sinks further. The thought of conjuring up yet another chicken dish on the spur of the moment feels overwhelming. We don't have many supplies in yet after coming home from vacation. Neither of us volunteers to drive to the store. Hunger wins out, and I rummage through the pantry for something to go with chicken breasts. A lone can of stewed tomatoes is at the back of the shelf. I search Google for chicken and stewed tomatoes and find a crock pot recipe. The problem is I don't own a crock pot, and if I did, the recipe takes 7 hours, and I have only an hour and a half before dinner time. The alternative is to cook on the stove. Potatoes, carrots, onion, bay leaves, and chicken go into a large saucepan. So far, so good. The recipe calls for fresh tomatoes, chicken broth, tomato sauce, and red pepper, none of which I have. Thinking of Julia Child, I take a deep breath and for the first time ever use substitute ingredients: stewed tomatoes, tomato paste, and hot sauce. I put it on simmer and go back to reading. The house soon fills with a tantalizing scent. The food is a triumph, one of the best meals I have ever made. Tony beams at me, and I smile back, grateful once again for the blessing of food. The house takes on a rosy glow, reminiscent of a Norman Rockwell painting of a cozy domestic scene. Another day, a poem about being the caregiver for my mother, written in honor of the caregivers. At some time in our lives, we are each called to be one. Tick-tock, 7 o'clock. The day is newly born. Doctors, testing, medicines galore. Waiting, worrying, nurses at the door. Paperwork, headache, every day there's more. Caring, sharing, laughter, love, and tears. Spending time, making time, praying away the fears. Not too late to celebrate the gift that is our years. Tick-tock, 10 o'clock. Listen until dawn.